Ponerle su jardín a Pancha, mamá, pero ha de ser de flores coloradas, mamá. Aunque se enojen solteras y casadas, no, solo los ojos de Pancha y no más. He de ponerle su jardín a Pancha, mamá, pero ha de ser de flores amarillas, mamá. Aunque se enojen toditas las Marías, mamá, solo los ojos de Pancha y no más. Uy, esa Panchita como... He de ponerle su jardín a Pancha, mamá, pero ha de ser de flores amarillas, mamá. Aunque se enojen toditas las Marías, mamá, solo los ojos de Pancha y no más.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Roberto Cueto and Aurelio Silva and your amigo Kiko. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kiko. It's always a thrill to share our culture on Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're very proud to have the daughter of our guest and our birthday gal, Juanita Rangel Moran. Here's her daughter, and we're very proud of Becky en Los Alegres Bailadores.
Thank you so much. We are very happy and honored to be here today to share with you a bit of our Mexican culture through the art of dance. Los Alegres Bailadores was founded in 1977, and we have shared and entertained and educated audiences throughout Minnesota. We are going to start our program with the state of Nayarit, and I would like to bring these young teens to do for you San Pedreño, followed by El Ardillo. It's been quite a long time since we've been doing performances, since before COVID. So this is our first time having a bigger program. And so we're just trying to get in that mode again in front of people and dancing their hearts out. We are going to move to the little ones. They're going to do a dance called La Raspa. I'm sure you are all familiar with this dance, and maybe you even did it as a child yourself. They're going to do for you one more dance. This dance is called El Jarabe de la Botella, and they're going to try and get through their whole dance without knocking over their bottle. In the Rangel Moran family, dance has been such a part of our lives. From Crescencia and Francisco to my mother that started dance in her home, to my Auntie Mary, who started the first folkloric group, to now Los Alegres Bailadores. It's been tradition, and we enjoy so much to share it with you. These young people are going to do El Jarabe de la Botella. going to move to dances from San Luis Potosí. The name of these dances are La Rosa, followed by El Periguero. The next state that we are visiting is the state of Yucatan. They are going to do for you America Linda, followed by El Terno Bordado. As you've noticed, so many different costumes. Los Alegres really does its best to represent each state in Mexico the best to its ability. El maestro Tizoc, who taught me every time I went to Mexico, the most important is to represent the state correctly, traditionally, culturally, through its dance and through its costume. And so now you are seeing another state coming, and as you've seen already, 4 different costumes, because they are all from different states. And in each state, there are different regions, and each of those regions has its own costume as well. So there's a lot to learn, and we continue to do so. These 3 young ladies are going to do dances from Sinaloa. Their music also, as other states that you've noticed, marimba, mariachi, and this is banda. They are going to do for you Salsa y la Palma, followed by Escuinapa de Sinaloa.
Señores, con su permiso yo le canto a que mi tierra, a sus hombres y mujeres, gente amiga de veras. Yo vengo desde Escuinapa, yo soy puro escuinapense, soy del sur de Sinaloa, a las órdenes de ustedes. A mi Escuinapa le canto y le canto con la banda. Pues yo nací en esta tierra que quiero con toda el alma. me gusta pasearme de la del bosque a Palmillas, que te acaparan la concha, el palmito y tecualilla. También me gustan las fiestas del mes de mayo en las playas. Me divierten la tambora, las lupitas y las cabras. A mi esquina pa' le canto y le canto con la banda. Pues yo nací en esta tierra que quiero con toda el alma. ¡Hola, Sinaloa, paisano! El tindingüín de Escuinapa es manjar de camarones, lo mismo que las barcinas y los tamales barbones. Que vivan las pesquerías que le dan vida a mi gente, los sábalos y la estaca, el maíz y sal si puedes. A mi Escuinapa le canto y le canto con la banda. Pues yo nací en esta tierra que quiero con toda el alma. Y arriba te acaparo, oiga. Señores, con su permiso yo le canto acá en mi tierra a sus hombres y mujeres, gente amiga de veras. Yo vengo desde Escuinapa, yo soy puro escuinapense, soy de sur de Sinaloa, a las órdenes de ustedes. A mi Escuinapa le canto y le canto con la banda. Pues yo nací en esta tierra que quiero con toda el alma.
We're going to continue with these little youngsters here doing for you from the state of Guerrero, Mañanita Costeño.
Los cuernitos de la luna, coqueteando con el sol. Contemplé una mañanita cuando empieza el arrebol. Una mañana costeña con cantos del palapal, con arrullos de laguna y con tumbos de la mar. Caminos de Costa Grande, maravillosa región, dulce y fuerte como tuba, florecida de pasión. Los cuernitos de la luna platicaban con el sol y los labios de mi chata tenían un raro sabor, aromas de mar y brisa, perfumes de luna y sol. Los cuernitos de la luna, coqueteando con el sol. Contemplé una mañanita cuando empieza el arrebol. Una mañana costeña con cantos del palapal, con arrullos de laguna y con tumbos de la mar. Camino de Costa Grande, maravillosa región, dulce y fuerte como tuba, florecida de pasión. Los cuernitos de la luna platicaban con el sol y los labios de mi chata tenían un raro sabor, aromas de mar y brisa, perfume de luna y sol.
Our last set of dances will be from the state of Jalisco, the most famous, the most popular with its mariachi music, the charro suit, the long dresses, ribboned dresses, and las trenzas in their hair. They are going to do for you Maracumbe, Son de las Alazanas, y La Chata.
es el maracumbé. Estaba el maracumbé tomándose una copita, estaba el maracumbé tomándose una copita, por el amor que tenía a una mujer bonita, por el amor que tenía a una mujer bonita, estaba el maracumbé. De tierra Sábaco vengo de rezar una novena, de tierra Sábaco vengo de rezar una novena. Ahora que vengo Santito ven, abrázame morena, ahora que vengo Santito ven, abrázame morena. De tierra Sábaco vengo, ay, ay, ay.
Cuando te quiero te vas, cuando te aborrezco vienes, mira cómo no te estás, donde más amores tienes, te vas, te vas, te vas, te vas, te vas, te voy, te voy, me voy, me voy, me voy.
De los chinos que te cuento,
Cuando te quiero te vas, cuando te aborrezco vienes. Mira cómo no te estás, y donde más amores tienes. Te vas, te vas, te vas, te vas, te vas. Me voy, me voy, me voy, me voy, me voy.
On behalf of Los Alegres Bailadores, we are so honored to be here with you today, celebrating. Congratulations to all of our students, nuestra directora Rebecca Moran Cusick. Thank you. Viva Yucatan! And the rest of our little ones. Thank you and have a good evening.
What a wonderful performance. Of course, Becky and all of your group and all these young children, what a beautiful performance, and thank you very much. And we're hoping that we'll see you again in the future here for La Familia. Thank you. You know, we have a brief video for one of our supporting sponsors, Nuestro Pequeños Hermanos. And we're going to see the video, and Clara's going to give us a few words.
Me gusta NPH porque es bonito. Me gusta la comida porque la siento muy rica. En el día, trabajar. Me gusta la misa. Tengo muchas amigas en mi casa. Me llevo bien con las chicas. Camino con mi amiga hablando. Mi hermanita tiene 6 años. Mi hermanita está alegre y está jugando. Me siento tan segura que ya no tengo miedo porque las tías me cuidan. Alegre, contenta.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Clara Grove, and first of all, I want to introduce my sisters, Norma, Meche, and Josefa. And we are here representing MPH, which stands for, or it's Nuestros Pequeños Hermanos, which stands for our little brothers and sisters. This is an organization, a home that helps over 7,600 kids throughout Mexico, Central, and South America. In essence, these are my sisters. The 4 of us grew up at the home in Mexico. And it was founded, an organization founded by an American priest from Arizona. And he went to Mexico and started helping kids that were on the streets. Right now, we have 9 homes, like I said, and this home is ran by donations, volunteers, sponsors, and we are a product of that home. We are offered education, we are offered food, clothing, and as you can see, all the kids that come into this home, which are abandoned, disadvantaged, and orphan kids, come to this home scared, but they are given love, they are given opportunities. A lot of them have finished university educations like Josefa, college education like myself as well. So there is an organization here called NPH USA in Minnesota, which is one of the biggest organizations that helps raise funds for the home and to help all the kids that we are helping. So we encourage you to look at some of the flyers that are on your tables to learn more about this wonderful home, which is my home, our home. And we invite you, there are many activities here in Minnesota that you could volunteer, you could donate. We're coming up a gala that raises the most money to help all these kids. And as you can see in the flyers, we need a lot of money to help these kids. It is wonderful. You can visit the homes. You can go to the mphusa.org and learn more about this wonderful organization, our home. So thank you very much for coming, and I hope you take a look at it. And thank you very much. Good evening.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to start our program, our awards program, right now, and I want to really think about thanking our sponsors too. I've got a little reminder because we can't thank them enough. You know, Comcast and U.S. Bank, you know, wonderful partners. They've been partners of our company, Aguilar Productions. We recently celebrated our 25th anniversary of producing the Hispanic Marketing Conference. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. And in those 25 years, we worked with every major corporation in the Twin Cities. I think with our help and with our list of speakers and agencies and experts that we brought into the Twin Cities, we've been able to expand multicultural marketing to most of the corporations here in the city. So we're very proud of that. But La Familia was an offspring of Aguilar Productions because I thought that most of our events were outdoors, and we were always victims of the weather. And you know, May is always a rainy month, and June, and some of our events. So we thought, let's go inside. Let's do an expo. We started La Familia. It was over at the River Center. We had 62,000 square feet. And we filled it up, ladies and gentlemen, because the Latino community loved it. And besides, you know, that's a great venue for our community. And we were finding out a lot of our folks thought they couldn't go there, that it was someplace that wasn't for them. I think that's what happened since then, is we have a lot of organizations welcoming Latinos, and they want us to be at the venues. For instance, the beautiful Ordway is a wonderful theater, and they're doing a lot of outreach to our Latino community. It's a lovely theater. It's one of the renowned theaters in the country. So there's a lot of things that we want to do and come to these venues, such as this is a beautiful venue, the Landmark. It's a beautiful venue. So we're going to start our awards presentation with something that La Familia always really believed in, awarding our community. We have so many great individuals, organizations, and companies that do tremendous work. And today we're going to start with a celebration, really, an amazing birthday, 100-year-old birthday for one of our community's sweethearts, an amazing woman from an amazing family. And we're celebrating the 100th birthday of Juanita Rangel Moran. And she's here tonight. So we're going to have her daughter, Marie's coming up, and she's going to give us some insights into the amazing, amazing life of our 100-year-old birthday girl. Thanks.
The eldest of the Rangel siblings was born in Aguascalientes, Mexico. Speaking only Spanish, she arrived in St. Paul, Minnesota in May of 1928 with her parents, Francisco and Crescencia, and her sisters, Fidela and Eugenia. Along with her family came many customs, traditions, music, songs, and dance that would be passed on to her younger siblings. Maria, Augustine, Genevieve, Kiko, and Rachel. They settled in the West Side Flats, which today is the St. Paul Industrial Park. Through her own autobiography, these are her words. During the trip, I remember being very hungry. We had one loaf of bread and nothing else. We could not buy anything because no one could speak English. I remember the conductor announcing, St. Paul, Minnesota. I looked out the window and saw a huge bridge and 2 arches. I remember thinking how big and beautiful it was. We lived across from the city dump. It was during the Depression. Many stores could not sell their goods. Vegetables and other fruits were put in crates to be thrown out. It was all brought to the dump. My mother and other ladies took wagons and went to the dump, bringing back fruit and other types of usable items. They also brought back any type of wood they found to use for their wood-burning stove. It was like having our own Kmart store. The neighborhood house was the place we all had our entertainment and meetings for young and old. There were classes of English for the adults and clubs for many young boys and girls. There was also a health clinic where we could go and get help for the families who needed it. I was president of the girls' club called Las Mariposas. Every time the boys would see us coming, they would say, "Here comes Las Mariposas," and we would all giggle. We moved to another place. It was a bigger apartment. It was a duplex. We lived upstairs, and downstairs there was a bar. My sisters and I could always hear the music coming from the bar. It was a lot of Mexican music. We would lie on the floor, put our ears to the floor in order to hear all the songs coming from the jukebox in the cantina. That is how we began to learn many more songs that we would sing and harmonize together. My father used to play the concertina in Mexico. After we arrived in St. Paul, when he came home from work in the evenings, he would play for us. For this reason, I worked in the summer and earned enough money to buy a piano accordion. Oh, I was so happy. The store gave me 15 free lessons. My sister Fidela and I practiced songs in Spanish. I also sang alone or played for programs. We continued to sing every week for Mass on Sundays in the church choir. Now, those were just a few of the memories from Juanita's autobiography. In 1943, Juanita married Salvador Moran, who had also received distinguished recognition as a Hispanic pioneer. They had 7 children: Sal Jr., Victor, Marie, Yolanda, Daniel, Rebecca, and Tony. On May 29, 2007, Salvador passed away. They were married 64 years, an accomplishment of its own. All 7 children followed the inspiration given to them by their parents to give back to the church and community and honor their culture. Among the many recognitions and achievements given to Juanita are first Fiesta Queen representing the Mexican community, and later in life she would be the senior Fiesta Queen. The first Guadalupana serving the Mission Church. The first to teach Mexican dances from her home. Years later, her sister Mary would form a group called Ballet Folclórico Guadalupanas. And in 1977, Los Alegres Bailadores was founded by Juanita's daughter, Rebecca. Juanita was a recipient of the Governor's Community Culture Award. Juanita, her siblings, and parents were featured in the play Los Rumbaleros, based on their life story at the Minnesota History Center in 2001. Juanita and her siblings were grand marshals for the Cinco de Mayo parade in 2005. Juanita contracted COVID. With the assessment of only days to live, she defied them all, and at age 99, she was a survivor of COVID. Among the many achievements in her life, church, faith, and prayer to Our Lady of Guadalupe played an important part. She crusaded for the customs and traditions of Mexico, to be active in the community, and just as important, to be active in Our Lady of Guadalupe Church. And so she taught and encouraged her family to appreciate the cultural values of her Hispanic past. She celebrates her 100th birthday with appreciation, dancing, music, song, and more love given and received than anyone could ever imagine. As of today, Juanita's family has grown to 100 members. So, on behalf of Juanita's children and our spouses, Jenny, Julie, Stacy, Bill, John, Denny, and in the entire Moran family, we thank Rick Aguilar and La Familia Latino Heritage for honoring our mother, Juanita Rangel Moran. Thank you, Rick.
That's a lot of tortillas, ladies and gentlemen. You know, they made them homemade then. You know, all you folks go to the store and buy them. These people were making them homemade. Imagine how many tortillas that was a month. God bless her. But we have this La Familia Latino Heritage Award, and it reads, in recognition of your lifelong commitment and efforts to sharing your Latino heritage and culture with thousands of Minnesotans throughout our state. Your wonderful life and partnership with your late husband, Salvador, raising an amazing family and being active community leaders. Therefore, with the appreciation of the Latino community of Minnesota, we wish you a happy 100th birthday and present this commendation to Juanita Rangel de Moran. Congratulations, Juanita. We can take it down to her. That's all you take a photo. Well, thank you, Juanita, and in that similar vein of culture and of the West Side Flats and the Latino community, we want to honor an amazing artist, and it's amazing because jazz isn't really seen as a art form where a lot of Latinos participate. But as we know, jazz is America's one true original art form. Their creation comes from the combination of Western European classical music, traditions, and African culture. Jazz is not only rooted multiculturally in America, but it is also rooted and defined by the act of improvisation. Nationally, there are many noted Latinos who perform and record jazz. Tonight, we want to honor our favorite son, who is known nationally and internationally for his amazing talent and style and his career that spans 7 decades. George Avilas started his career as a 15-year-old teenager on St. Paul's West Side, right across the river here, performing on drums with neighborhood musicians and friends Kiko Rangel and Ruben and Frank Trejo. They were performing Mexican folk songs and dance music. But George was also listening to blues and jazz, and he began jamming with Cornbread Harris and the legendary Augie Garcia and his rock group. Soon, George was on the jazz scene, playing jazz bop gigs with local saxophone players Gary Berg, Dave Carr, and Jim Arentig. His move to Chicago was a turning point, and there George was performing with national and internationally known jazz musicians at Chicago's famous jazz clubs. It was then that George got his first big break with the big time. Famous jazz singer Billy Eckstine was impressed with George's playing and invited George to join his band. Imagine, Billy Eckstine. That led to a 10-year-long gig, traveling the world and meeting and playing with such jazz icons as Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Sarah Vaughan, Maynard Ferguson, and many other jazz giants. The young Latino drummer was on top of the jazz world. George left Billy Eckstine's band in the 70s and moved to New York. And there he played and recorded with Eddie Gomez, Archie Shepp, Eddie Jefferson, and Cedar Walton. He recorded as a leader and sideman with Quincy Jones and Clifford Jordan. In 1981, George came back home to St. Paul and continued performing at clubs and festivals and staying busy recording. In 2000, he recorded The Highest Mountain. You have it up there, Rico? The Highest Mountain, performing, writing, and singing on the CD. In the past years, George has received commendations from the City of St. Paul, the Governor's Office, and the History Center Jazz Legends Program. But tonight, we want to honor this artist for his amazing career with our La Familia Latino Heritage Award. Ladies and gentlemen, George Avilas. Let me read this, George. In recognition of your commitment to your Latino heritage, culture, community, and your amazing career as a jazz drummer, performing with world-class musicians and bringing enjoyment and entertainment to thousands of jazz lovers throughout the world. You are a source of pride. So with the appreciation of the Latino community in Minnesota, this accommodation is presented to George Avilas, jazz drummer extraordinaire. George Avilas. Give us some words over here, George. Give us some words over here.
First off, I want to thank Richard for this good recognition. I'm really proud of it. So thank you, Richard. You're always doing things in the community and enlightening people. And before I say anything, I want to thank Juanita, because she was the one that got me started in the music business, doing the Mexican hat dance. And she used to tell me I was her favorite, but I don't know if she said that to everybody. But Juanita, muchas gracias por todo lo que hiciste por mí. Nunca te olvido. And one thing, I also want to thank my family, my sister Chaya, John, Tino, Marion, and Marion has left us, and my brother Tino has left us, but will never be forgotten. And I'm really honored to receive this recognition award, Richard. And traveling with Billy Eckstein was a great joy. It got me to go all over the world. And I met lots of people, Harry Belafonte, Sammy Davis Jr., and Frank Sinatra. And I don't want to get too much into that, you know, because I'm sounding like I'm bragging, which I am. And anyway, thanks again, Richard, for everything that you've done in the community, and I really appreciate this.
Hey, George, let me ask you something, because, you know, I think you're wrong with it. We can never get enough about listening to an artist who's performed with such icons as you have. How was Billy Eckstein to work with as far as rehearsing, and how big was the band when you played with Billy?
Well, working with Billy was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And it started out with me joining him in Reno, Nevada. That was my first time that I ever played with him. And it was like a 6-piece band. And from there it grew into many other things, like you mentioned before, Duke Ellington, which we did a road tour, and Quincy Jones. The Four Tops were with us. I met the Supremes and went down to Motown, saw this place where they recorded. And it was just a little house. And there was many good experiences that it would take me forever to keep on going about everything that has happened with him. But playing with Billy was a great experience.
Well, George, listen, by the way, here's what was happening at home while you were gone. Because, you know, this was the day before the social media and everything, but we were so proud of you, man, that you were from the neighborhood, because we were jazz lovers. I mean, my first record I had was jazz. And although the neighborhood was a lot of Latino music, as you know, George, but we loved jazz, right? Coltrane, and we were listening. And we were always so proud of George, and that he was visiting Minneapolis one time, and Miles Davis was at the Guthrie. George got us backstage, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Miles, right, George?
Yes, sir.
Well,
I met
listen,
Miles by Davis, by the way.
Yeah, listen, man, we love you, George.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, two all-stars from the West Side. Kiko Rangel, of course, too. Yeah, a lot of talent there. And well, you know, our next group of recipients really have to do with this amazing, and I just use the term amazing, crisis that we've gone through, this pandemic. It's almost surreal, really, that we're here tonight. You know, there hasn't been any live events. I produced live events, conferences, and of course 2020 we didn't do anything. So I think we're also happy to be out and rediscover our lives again. But during the pandemic,
there was a lot of our lives that were changed, and we want to honor a group of individuals and organizations here tonight, not in a serious vein, because this is Hispanic Heritage Month, but to be serious, I think we have to recognize some of the outstanding efforts that happened during the pandemic. I think the pandemic created one of the greatest challenges for education in Minnesota. With the 2020 school year that had most of our public and private schools doing homeschooling. And now as we start the 2021st year, we have the schools caught in between masking, vaccination issues, distancing, not really knowing if the school was going to be open. All these challenges that we've seen, and we don't know the results yet, what will happen in the future years. But the results in the Latino community have been a disaster for our students and our families. Even before the pandemic, Minnesota had one of the worst high school graduation outcomes for Latinos in the country. There is no telling what the results the pandemic will have on a whole generation of high school students. So tonight, we want to honor a high school that beat the odds. A school that has an amazing record of success. We want to honor Crystal Ray Jesuit High School. Rico?
Oh, this is like not a drill? Okay. All right.
I'm getting nervous, sorry. Should I start over?
I'm thinking, wow, I'm not gonna say wow because that's a little too much. Yeah, wow, I'm gonna audit, okay. When I first started Cristo Rey, I was a very, very, very shy girl. My corporate work study site was huge and I had never been in any corporate setting before. As I went to Cristo Rey, I realized, wow, college is actually a possibility. I went through the corporate work study program and I was like, wow, a job is actually a possibility, and it actually turned reality for me, and I'm so grateful. Because of the corporate work study program I went through and working at US Bank, I felt like I really loved the company and the culture, which made me want to find a job there once I graduated college. And through that job, I was developed and pushed to power my own potential, and I became the vice president of a business resource group called Nosotros Latinos. It's now part of my responsibility to help empower and give people the drive to their potential as Latinos in the bank community. 15-year-old Karina would be really impressed seeing me now, and I think that as time goes on, I really want to move up in the corporate ladder and to actually have a presence as a Latina in the bank, and make it a possibility for people so they can see that, wow, there is a Latina at US Bank that has this fancy title. I didn't know that could ever happen. Going through the work study program, not only did I get access to US Bank, but US Bank got access to me.
I've always been around businesses. My father owned a bakery, my uncles owned bakeries and restaurants. So I think that really gave me my work ethic, just being around my dad, wanting to be like my dad. Starting the corporate work study program was probably one of the things I looked forward to the most. It was different. You didn't have to be in a classroom. So I was very excited about that. I thought, hey, this is gonna be really cool. It's not something every 14, 15-year-old does in high school. During orientation, we had to learn about the Pohlad family. It was very interesting to me how such a big company was started from very humble roots. Being in front of people that have accomplished these things, inspires you. If you don't see it being done, then it sometimes doesn't seem attainable, but when you see someone do it, then you can do it as well. Knowing what I wanted to do in college, which was to get an accounting degree, I was able to graduate in 3 years and get a job right away. Going to Cristo Rey was, that first step, and then getting into college was that second step. And getting a corporate job is, another step. And I feel that every step is going to lead me closer to my goals that I have, which is to run successful businesses here in St. Paul.
At Allina Health, I think that I've been able to expand on a lot of the foundational work that Cristo Rey did with their corporate work study program. I'm in situations that could be pretty intimidating for a lot of people. Just because I'm a minority, or just because I'm a woman, or just because I'm a first-generation college student doesn't mean that I'm not capable. My confidence has really just gone out the roof, and it all started with my corporate work study program and making me feel uncomfortable, but then learning to own it. I think it's extremely important to have a diverse workforce, especially in HR or talent acquisition. Sometimes just because someone can't read the name on a resume or can't pronounce something on there, they kind of turn it down, and we need to stop doing that. We need to see the value and the worth that this person can bring to any company. Hiring students at 14, 15 years old, you're already setting yourself up for success, because once I'm looking for a job, once I fully enter the workforce, that's where I want to work. It also really gives students the opportunity to experience things they never had before, work in places that they never even imagined they could. I didn't know that talent acquisition was a thing, and that I could help give people jobs and a livelihood, and that it would make me feel as good as it does now.
Amazing. So at this time, we'd like to bring up the president of Cristo Rey Jesuit High School, Jeb Myers. Jeb. In recognition of your mission to provide access to a Catholic Jesuit college and career preparatory education to unlock the potential of students of any culture, faith, or creed to transform our communities. Also for your amazing student success every year this past decade, when 100% of your graduating seniors are accepted to college. Therefore, with the appreciation of the Latino community of Minnesota, this commendation is presented to Cristo Rey Jesuit High School. Congratulations, Deb.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Richard. I first want to say thank you for all of your promotion, your work, for supporting the community throughout the Twin Cities to be successful, especially the Latino community. So thank you for 25 years of great work. So thank you. Next, I want to apologize to George and Juanita that my picture's on the poster with theirs, because they're much better looking than I am, and so deeply apologetic. I do want to say that jazz is my comfort food. When I need to unwind and relax, jazz is my comfort food, so thank you, George. What can I say? Richard started off by saying that he first hosted La Familia inside the River Center because he wanted to prove that yes, you belong in that place. Our school of 500 students, 874 graduates, our 60 and so teachers, our thousands of parents, our school is saying, yes, you can to a college preparatory education, yes, you can to corporate success, college success, and family-sustaining jobs. That is what our school is all designed around. We have fabulous support systems. We have counselors that support students to make sure they're on track to graduate. Actually, I first should say we have ambassadors. 2 of them are holding cameras right now. Miriam and Maricela Dale, Miriam Vigil, Maricela Dale. They are our admissions guidance counselors that help families to say yes to Cristo Rey. Thank you to them. And then also our family liaison, Kelly Flanagan, is here also. She solves problems. Families come to her with needs, and she helps find solutions. So thank you to her. And the last thing I'll say is Diego represents our 874 graduates that are now in college or in careers. We have graduates who are now in our brief history. We've had 11 graduating classes. We have engineers, we have teachers, we have social workers, we have data analysts, we have CPAs, we have a PhD in medicine. All of these were made possible because companies like US Bank, who is our largest employer, and so thank you to them for supporting this also, but they are our largest employer of where students go to learn that they do belong in the corporate world, they do belong in society, and that they have talents to share with other people. So thank you.
When you look at this amazing graduation rate, you know, there's some skeptics that might say, well, they're handpicking their students. This can't be true. They must be looking at these kids and seeing their grades. Now, is that what it is? Of course not. Why don't you explain how you get your students there?
Absolutely. So first of all, 2/3 of our students, when they enter, or our average student that enters Cristo Rey reads and does math in 9th grade at a 6th, 7th grade level. So we are not cherry picking, but our standards-based grading, our teachers, our community of support helps students get 6 years of education in 4. And that helps them be prepared for college. So if we're cherry picking, I hope that the best aren't at 6th grade level in reading and math. But it proves that all students can do that. They are not testing at that because that's where they're at. They're testing that because that was their education and that they can be successful. So we're excited by that.
Cristo Rey, thank you.
Thank you. Viva Cristo Rey.
Viva Cristo Rey.
Amazing record. It's just 11 straight years. Well, something more amazing during the pandemic were what was happening with our churches. I mean, it was total confusion, and at a time when people wanted and needed to go to church. And let's face it, many people that hadn't gone to church in a while, they all wanted to go, and what was happening? They were being shut down. They were being distancing when they did open. And throughout the cities and throughout the state, these men of faith, women of faith, had that challenge. And so I met Pastor Saul Carranza, who is an Hispanic Ministries Director. He's a church planner and pastor trainer for the Prairie Lakes District Church of the Nazarene. He has served in that position for 15 years. I've known Pastor Carranza for the past 5 years, and when I first met him, we talked about perhaps they wanted to start a newspaper
Well, I suggested that I already have a newspaper, Latino American Today, and rather than you start one, why don't we give you a monthly article? You can have that in your paper for as long as you want. And that's what happened. And today he does have a monthly article called Family Values. That's in Spanish and English. But the pandemic has presented a challenge that called on all of his experience and his faith to keep his services open and providing the much needed comfort to his parishioners and faithful. Tonight we honor Pastor Carranzas for his leadership and his faith in the Lord as he and his fellow pastors face the crisis head on. Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Saul Carranza. In recognition of your commitment to your Latino heritage, culture, and community, and your service of spreading the word of the Lord to our Latino community in Minnesota. Also for your efforts during the pandemic to ease the fears and anxieties of your church members. Therefore, with the appreciation of the Latino community in Minnesota, this commendation is presented to Pastor Saul Carranza. And I've asked the pastor to please, he's going to give you his remarks in Spanish. Thank you. Pastor, congratulations.
Well, good evening, everyone. What a privilege to be here with you, and it's a great honor for me to be here tonight, but él me dijo que en español. Como le dije a Rick algún día, no creo merecer ningún reconocimiento, porque si algo hemos hecho bien, lo hemos hecho por el llamado y por la gracia que Dios nos ha dado. Si Él nos ha llamado a servir entre la comunidad hispana, queremos hacerlo con amor y le doy gracias a Dios por eso. Reconozco que yo soy parte de un gran equipo que es la Iglesia del Nazareno, donde mi familia, somos una familia misionera. Mi esposa Connie, mis hijos Marcos, Saúl y Jenny, mi superintendente de distrito, el reverendo Steve Hoffman, que está aquí con nosotros ahora, y los esposos Gurrola, que fueron los primeros hispanos que apoyaron nuestro ministerio aquí en el estado. Por todos ellos yo le doy gracias a Dios. Llegamos a este país porque los líderes de nuestra iglesia, tocados por Dios, vieron la creciente comunidad hispana en Minnesota. Cuando llegamos hace 14 años, el 2% de la comunidad era hispana. Y nuestra iglesia no estaba haciendo nada por esa comunidad en ese momento. Ahora hemos subido al 6% de la población en Minnesota y seguimos creciendo. Y sabemos que hay muchas necesidades. Cuando nos invitaron a venir nos preguntábamos, ¿qué vamos a hacer allá? Ustedes saben que en América Latina se piensa que aquí los dólares crecen en los árboles y que solo es cuestión de recogerlos, que no hay ninguna necesidad en este lugar. Bueno, cuando llegamos descubrimos que la pobreza sí existe en Estados Unidos y que sí hay indigentes, que sí hay hambre, pero la pobreza tiene muchos otros rostros: discriminación, soledad, desesperanza, violencia doméstica, vicio, ignorancia, falta de oportunidades, explotación y otros muchos pecados. Alguien dijo que en Estados Unidos hay gente tan pobre que lo único que tiene es dinero, pero les falta todo lo demás. Y esa es parte de nuestro trabajo como iglesia. La pandemia nos enseñó a trabajar con las personas, no solamente dándoles ropa o una canasta de comida. Durante estos años hemos predicado amor de Jesús con palabras y con hechos. llevando esperanza, fe, amor, comida y oportunidades a nuestra raza. Nuestra tarea como pastores es estar donde la gente nos necesita y ayudar a las personas a tener una vida digna y con un propósito. Ese es el plan de Dios para todos. La pandemia, como ustedes saben, se ensañó especialmente con nuestra población hispana, porque los hispanos permanecimos en primera línea durante lo más fuerte de la pandemia y seguimos estando presentes donde se necesita trabajo, esfuerzo y voluntad de apoyo a nuestra nación. No fue fácil ministrar en esos tiempos cuando la OMS o el gobierno no sabían qué hacer. Lo único que compartíamos era la ignorancia. Pero mientras los gobiernos aprendían a lidiar con la enfermedad, la iglesia fue retada a ministrar a una comunidad confundida, enferma y con poca esperanza. La pandemia nos confrontó con nuestras limitaciones. Los pastores, como todos los demás humanos, somos vulnerables, no tenemos todas las respuestas, estamos sujetos a las autoridades y no estamos libres de ser contagiados, de contagiar a nuestra familia, aún de morir con la pandemia. Nos tocó educar, prevenir, orar por los enfermos, despedir a los que partieron, llorar con los que perdieron un ser querido y lo seguimos haciendo. La pandemia nos ha ayudado a descubrir nuestras debilidades y nuestras fortalezas. Seguimos adelante en el nombre de Dios. A todos ustedes quiero darles las gracias por su aporte a la prosperidad del pueblo hispano. Juntos somos mejores. Hay grandes retos que enfrentar. Terminar con la pandemia, revitalizar la economía, luchar por la integración de nuestra comunidad y propiciar una vida digna y justa para cada persona, especialmente para nuestro pueblo latino en Minnesota. Necesitamos unos de otros. Esto no se logra solos. Pero quiero darles las gracias por su esfuerzo, por su trabajo, por su aporte hacia su comunidad. Muchas gracias, Rick, por esta distinción. Que Dios los bendiga.
Thank you, Saul, for those amazing, beautiful words. And we continue working together, my friend and I. Looking forward to your next article. They're always very encouraging to the faithful and to myself, by the way. Onward with another amazing team that I've been very pleased to work with. It's the MDH Hispanic Latinx Community Liaison Team. Since the beginning of COVID-19 panic, the Minnesota Department of Health has prioritized sharing accurate information with Minnesotans on how to keep themselves and their families safe. This messaging included topics ranging from wearing masks to getting tested for COVID-19 and where to find a vaccine. Because these messages can sometimes change quickly due to the rapidly evolving nature of the virus, it has been vitally important to have an adapted and responsive communication system in place that reaches all Minnesotans in culturally and language appropriate ways. For the Latinx community, a significant part of the MDH response has been orchestrated by the MDH Hispanic Latinx Community Liaison Team. Jeanette Garcia, Marcy Babcock, who co-led the team, as well as Mateo Frumholtz, Margarita Reese, Marisol Ayala, and Sylvette Lopez Ruth. Throughout the last year, they have worked tirelessly to advocate the Latinx community needs during the pandemic response, quickly adapting, pivoting, and being creative when COVID-19
case data began showing increasing cases in the Latinx community. Today, the team plays an important role in addressing vaccine concerns in the Latinx community and working with countless organizations who organize community testing clinics. Tonight, we want to honor this amazing team for their efforts throughout Minnesota. Accepting the award for the team is Mateo Fromholz. Mateo, please come up. Thank you. In recognition of your commitment and tireless efforts to advocate for the Latinx community's needs during the COVID-19 pandemic, also for your work to engage and develop relationships with partners and organizations who serve the Latinx community, providing COVID-19 testing, vaccine clinics, and vital information. Therefore, with the appreciation of the Latino community in Minnesota, this commendation is presented to MDH, Hispanic Latinx Community Liaison Team. Congratulations, Mateo.
I have a list here. Thank you, first of all, thank you so much to Rick Aguilar for this amazing award and recognition of our work for this past year and a half, although it feels like 10 years. So with us tonight is Marisol, Silvette, Adriana Campbell, we have Janet Garcia, Not with us tonight, we have Margarita Ruiz and Marcy Babcock, who also are amazing parts of our team. You know, for the past year and a half, we've been trying to navigate a very tricky situation, trying to answer questions for which many of the time we do not have answers for, and trying to do so in a language, sharing resources that our very systems aren't really meant to help with and serve the people that we're trying to serve. I also want to recognize that although we work for the Department of Health, the work that we do would be impossible without some of our amazing partners that we work with every single day. So we have contracted through CCCs, COVID Community Coordinators, which is CLUS, it's COPAL, and it's ACER, three amazing organizations that really help serve our community in the state of Minnesota. And countless other organizations like Unidos, Convivencia Hispana, LEDC, Centro Tarion Guzman, Casa Esperanza, Navigate, Voices for Racial Justice, and so many more organizations that really help us carry out all the work that we do every day, as well as the amazing group of leaders at MCLA and at so many other organizations that often just come and help us share resources, share news of everything that needs to happen, to share whether it be where to get tested back in the day or where to access vaccines, translating materials. It really is an amazing network of partners. So I just want to say thank you so much to all of you, and thank you again to Rick for this amazing recognition of all of our work together. Thank you.
I know we've got a team call soon, so we'll be on Zoom together. Are you guys digging Zooming? I'm tired of it, but beautiful team. Thank you. Hey, listen. Just one thing. We want to have every award winner up here for a group photo before, and tonight we want to end our program with one of my. I would say one of the favorite corporations I work with in many, many years, and that's Comcast. And I mean that. I started working with Comcast, working with their Internet Essentials program. And it was right up my alley.
because I'm so involved and concerned with Latino education. And this was a wonderful program. Program I'm sure some of you have seen, affordable internet for low-income families, low-income seniors, and so many groups that were caught not having internet at home. So this has been a work with that I really enjoyed at Aguilar Productions, and we have a video here, Rico, of their programs. And why don't you play that, Rico?
For nearly a decade, Comcast has been helping students get ready. We've connected 4 million low-income students to low-cost, high-speed Xfinity internet. We're working with hundreds of school districts across the country to sponsor free internet and laptops. And parents are seeing an impact. And now we're turning 1,000 community centers into lift zones, Wi-Fi-enabled safe spaces to study, so more students can be ready for anything.
I did some homework here.
Oh, you think this is just a community center? No, it's way more than that. Because when you hook our community up with the internet, boom, look at Ariana crushing virtual class, Jamal chasing that college dream, Michael doing something crazy. This is the place where we can show the world what we can do.
Comcast is partnering with 1,000 community centers to create Wi-Fi-enabled lift zones so students from low-income families can get the tools they need to be ready for anything.
Oh, we're ready.
Want to help kids get their homework done? Well, an internet connection is a good start. But kids also need computers. And sometimes the hardest thing about homework is finding a place to do it. So why not hook community centers up with Wi-Fi for kids like us and all the amazing things we're going to learn?
Over the next 10 years, Comcast is committing $1 billion to reach 50 million low-income Americans with the tools and resources they need to be ready for anything.
I hope you're ready, because we are.
So, yes. Yeah, Internet Essentials is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and throughout those many years, it's been a blessing to so many low-income families and students, especially during the pandemic. It was just almost a program that it was almost like a miracle, really, to have a program that was already in place so that these families could reach out, and that along with their lift zones and the many programs they offer. So tonight it's really an honor to have with us Allison Hartle. In recognition of the 10th anniversary of the Internet Essentials program that offers internet access for low-income families and individuals, along with digital literacy training programs and access to low-cost computers. Also providing internet access to over 272,000 people in Comcast's Twin Cities service area. Therefore, with the appreciation of the Latino community in Minnesota, this accommodation is presented to Comcast Internet Essentials, Education, Growth, and Discovery. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much, Richard. It's just a delight to be here. Thank you so much for honoring Comcast and Internet Essentials. It's just really so important. I'm just honored to be here with all of the others that were recognized tonight. It's just very, very, very humbling. As the world becomes more digital, it's our responsibility to use media and technology to ensure that everyone has the resources and opportunities to, that they need to participate and excel in today's economy. Comcast, as Rick mentioned, created Internet Essentials in 2011 to bring affordable, high-speed internet to low-income families. And in 10 years, we've connected more than 10 million Americans to the internet at home, including, as he mentioned, over 272,000 Minnesotans. But we didn't stop there. During COVID, we reimagined our commitment to digital equity with new partnerships and programs. As you saw in the video, our lift zones. In Minnesota, we've created more than 80 lift zones in the Twin Cities, which are safe community spaces for people to get connected. And we've partnered with schools and nonprofits to connect families to the internet at home through our Internet Essentials Partnership Program. Additionally, we recently expanded eligibility for Internet Essentials to students receiving Pell Grants, enabling even more people to access the internet at home while attending colleges, universities, and technical schools. Since the COVID pandemic began over 18 long months ago, we've connected thousands of students and families to the internet at home. But we still have a lot of work to do. And we will continue to collaborate with important partners like Aguilera Productions and other partners in the room to reach families and individuals who have yet to be connected. In closing, on behalf of Comcast employees in the Twin Cities, thank you. Thank you for recognizing the important work that we are doing in the digital equity space and our Internet Essentials program. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Good to see you. Hey, what an amazing night. But hey, right before we leave, real quick, it's a quickie. But you know, during Hispanic Heritage Month, we have to look at all the positive things. And there's a lot of positive things going on. Jen's. You got Jen's thing up here. Right? So we've got a young man who's heading to Hollywood. You know, the Hollywood dream? You know, we've had an amazing jazz artist who traveled the world, Juanita, with her wonderful 100 years of amazing life. And tonight we have a young man who wants to go to Hollywood. Now, a lot of people have gone to Hollywood. Hell, Rick Aguilar went to Hollywood. And here I am, right? But this is a talented young man, the son of Amalia Moreno Damgard. And Jens, come up and talk to us, baby. Right now. He's going to Hollywood, but you know, there's a little issue. Let's talk about Latinos on film and in film, just a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about Latinos in film, or how about the lack thereof? Thank you. It is one of my missions as a professional as I move out to Los Angeles to connect with the Latino community that's out there. As you may know, it makes up a third of the state of California. We are the largest minority in this country, and yet we represent less than 6% in entertainment.
Boo.
So it is my commitment to this community that I am going to work with Latinos from all across the country, all across the world, and to be able to bring them in as set designers, prop designers, if I'm using their art in their pieces, as directors, as actors. I want to see Latinos everywhere. And so that is my mission, that is my goal.
Well, Jens, you know, as we know, your teacher, Washington University at St. Louis, said you were the most remarkable student in her 30 years of teaching. So, who's your favorite actor, and what's your what do you think you're going to be doing in terms of trying to get some movies of your dreams? Where do you see yourself?
Who is my favorite actor? Yeah. That's a tough one.
They're all tough.
I really admire in television Bryan Cranston, if you are familiar with the show Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is my favorite television show of all time. My favorite reality TV show of all time, though, is Caso Cerrado on Telemundo, if anyone... So yeah, it's great. I'm really excited to head out there.
Well, thank you, Jen, and God bless. We'll see you out in Hollywood. I'll be
Thanks,
out
Rick.
there. Thanks, baby. Thanks.
Today we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Hispanic Marketing Conference. Aguilar Productions has organized countless marketing conferences with various specific subgroups, multicultural groups. Also, Aguilar Productions began La Familia, the community festival, and Latino American Today, the publication. Congratulations, Rick. It's been a heck of a ride, and it's going to keep going. I know that, and I'm glad to be part of it. Thank you.
Congratulations to Aguilar Productions for 25 years of presenting the Hispanic Marketing Conference here in Minnesota. It's been a wonderful 25 years. I've attended many of these functions, and it's been enlightening, interesting, really on the cusp of everything that is marketing here in Minnesota for Latinos. Aguilar Productions has always been at the forefront of bringing that to the community. Congratulations.
I think it is really just a tribute to Rick Aguilar and the effort that he has done in really promoting multicultural marketing for 25 years now here in the Twin Cities, and with certainly a national audience. And I am just grateful that Rick is bringing such resources and attention to the business community.
I'm here today to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Hispanic Marketing Conference. So I've enjoyed coming over the years, but I can't tell you the value it's been bringing to the local Latino businesses, and that's what's most important. Is Rick has been diligent at working this and putting this conference together. So this is why I'm here today, and again, I want to congratulate Rick Aguilar for this production.
I'm excited that we're 25 years. It's great that he's been doing this consistency every year. He brings great speakers to Minnesota, and it's great when you don't want to travel outside of Minnesota that he's bringing great talent and a lot of great information about the Latino and Hispanic markets. So yeah, I just want to say congratulations to Rick Aguilar for putting on a great show.
I'm super excited to be here today for the 25th anniversary of the Hispanic Marketing Conference of Aguilar Productions and my friend Rick Aguilar. You know, he was so prescient and he was so forward-looking to start this 25 years ago at a time when the Hispanic market maybe wasn't as big as it is today. But look at where we are now, 25 years later, a super important community, an incredibly increasing and growing community that needs the attention from all corporate America. So it was really exciting to see that Rick was able to celebrate 25 years of this important marketing conference, and I wish him the best in another 25 years to come.
San Juan, cuántos años forjé en mis noches de infancia. Mi primera ilusión y mis cuitas de amor son recuerdos del alma. Una tarde me fui hacia extraña nación, fue el destino lo quiso. Quiero volver alejado de ti, Puerto Rico del alma. Adiós, adiós, adiós. Borinquen querida. Adiós, mi diosa del mar, mi reina del palmar. Me voy, pero un día volveré a buscar mi querer, a soñar otra vez en mi viejo San Juan. Adiós, 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 Borinquen querida, tierra de mi amor. Adiós, 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 mi diosa del mar, mi reina del paz.